Okay, so we have Leanne here who's been super nice to do a video with us, with me, sorry. And she's just completed 16 weeks and now she's graduating on further. So you can just start off by saying a sentence or two about yourself for just people watching the video.
Hello, I'm Leanne. I'm a first-time mummy. So I had my son 6 months ago. Um, Working as an environmental consultant before that. I'm now working part-time from home, still doing that, and I'm also completing my level 3 diploma in personal training.
Class, perfect. And to kind of start off, tell us a little bit about what you were doing before you started the coaching, maybe what you were trying before, what you were struggling with, just where Leanne was 16 weeks ago, I suppose.
Um, I had tried it all. I wasn't one for dieting. It was never really something I did. It was more I was in done all sorts of sports. Loved fitness. Was always into exercising from a young age. Tried weightlifting, but not really lifting heavy. But was mainly running was my thing. Um, and then like the Ashley Crooks thing came on board, and I followed it from the beginning. Like done the at-home workouts, joined the bikini guides, and they all worked when I done them. It was just the doing them that I couldn't stick to. Um, Coming up to my wedding, I done it was like a group coaching type thing that had been going at the time. I done it and it worked, but then after the wedding, it was no, I had no reason to keep going, if that makes sense. And then after the wedding, I was like, no, do you know what? I'm actually going to do this. I want to be able to say I've done it, and signed up, and then got pregnant. So that was out the window again. Um, and like that was like no exercise, no walking, no weightlifting, nothing. And it was the unfittest I had been in a very, very long time. And then I had my son through, it was like an emergency section, and just different things, like being able to sit up in the bed, having no upper strength to be able to do that, because I was so weak from not having exercise for so long. And I had been wanting to do like a one-on-one for so long that this just seemed like the right time, because I had nothing, so I was starting from scratch. So I literally hadn't a single muscle in my body. And I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to make sure I do this right for the future. Because it was just simple things like even lifting him up, I couldn't do without some sort of strength. Um, and that was sort of the point of, no, I want to be able to play and run about mad, because like he's an absolute nut job of a child already, and he's only 6 months. Like I can't keep up with him. So that it's been good that way to just stay focused, stay on something.
And say, like, just even on that one, like, what kind of impact is that having on you? The fact that you're so active and always kind of doing something like Bikini Academy, and obviously you had a baby, so things have changed that. But even after the baby, and then thinking about this, like, kind of where were you before you'd even started? Like, what impact? Kind of what was the reason why you just said, "I'm finally going to do it"?
It was the like going on holiday and stuff with my family, thinking about it, and like everybody just kept saying, "Oh, sure, you've just had a baby," or "Don't worry about it, you're pregnant." And I was like, but to me, that was not an excuse to be unhealthy. And I sort of thought when they were saying, "Wait until you've recovered, or give yourself a year to settle down," and it's like, but why? Why wait the year? Why not just do it now? Because this, to me, the first year was going to be a critical time when I was going to be the one on my own with John. I was going to be the one at home, having to lift him, having to interact, having to play on the floor and watch him crawl and watch him walk. And if I wasn't physically able to do that, then nobody would. And it was just like, was he going to miss out on me not being fit? So that was one of the key ones. The other one was like looking to the future. Like, how do I see myself? Do I see myself the mummy that's standing in the corner at his sports days wearing like track bottoms and hoodies, or am I going to be the mummy that's sitting in a shorts and t-shirts that are able to join in on like the fun events, things like that, where you're sort of thinking, what type of person do I want to be for him? And I think with all the times before, like for the wedding and things, the goal was all for me. But now it's something totally different. It's something I always wanted to do. But now that I can see how the negative image I had of myself was going to impact him and his life going forward, it made a total like flip. It was like, no, this has to be done now. And that was it. It was like, because I think I had messaged Ashley, and he said, give it 12 weeks. Because I was messaging him like 2 weeks after I had my son, like ridiculous, like it was never going to happen. So he says, like, give yourself 12 weeks to recover, and then we'll go from there. And then I think it was 10 weeks in, I messaged you because I just couldn't wait. And that was it. I think we started then 2 weeks after that. So there was a bit of time between getting my goals and getting everything started, but like I haven't looked back. It's been the best decision ever.
And say then, like on that note, like you've done the group coaching, you've done like bikini guide, you've done all these other bits, and then finally took, I suppose, the next level up. What's kind of changed for you since you have come aboard and you've done 16-week block first? So give us an idea what's actually changed for you in general, overall.
It's not just a 28-day plan. It's not just like the Christmas one, for example, it's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
So to me, previously I would have done the 4 weeks and it would have been great, and I would have got the nice dress and would have felt great. Had a mess up of a Christmas and then tried to start again in January. But there was no accountability because I had no problem sticking to a plan for a short period of time. And that was the issue, where unless I had a goal, there was nothing for me to keep going to. And I think like the first week when I started with you, like I smashed it because I had been following the whole time. So I knew what I was supposed to eat. I knew how I was supposed to eat, how I was supposed to train. And the first week was great. The second week was great. Third week started to fall off. Fourth week started to fall off. And unless I was on the one-to-one, like with you every Saturday saying to me, what's going on, what happened here, what needs changed. If I didn't have that, I would have slipped off and would have went back to a 28-day guide here or something. It was the one-on-one has kept me consistent. And this is the most that I have stuck to something without, because now I have a goal. It's like I have somebody that's making me accountable. Because otherwise, who's going to know that whether I could have that for dinner or not? But now that I know I have to track it, and Sarah's going to check, and Sarah's going to tell me off either way. So it's the accountability, and it makes such a difference because I do know I have been following for so long, and there was literally nothing. Like my family would say to me, "There's nothing that somebody can tell you that you don't already know." And it was really hard to justify to them saying, "I know, but I still need somebody to hold me accountable." And it's somebody that's not my family, because really how accountable can they make you, because they're setting up the family events too and they're going on the holidays too, and it's just I needed somebody that was outside, that was not afraid to shout if they needed to shout.
Fair, pretty fair. And it's just an overall idea, like say in terms of progress, because like you've dropped loads around your waist, and then even in terms of how you manage just your day-to-day routine, like give an idea of how that's changed for you.
So I lost something, it was like 15 centimeters off my waist so far. My weight has went down like 6 pounds just, whereas before this I would have been like 6 pounds isn't a lot, but it's the fact that I've lost so much off my waist and getting stronger. But it's my routine has been the biggest thing, like just setting up a routine of, instead of lying in bed, like I would get up in the morning at 5 o'clock and feed John, and then lie in bed to nearly 8:30, feed him, and then lie in bed again till nearly lunchtime. Whereas now I started off by getting up at 5 and doing my training session to get it done, and then worked out that wasn't going to work. And I can do my training now in the evening, but by getting a routine settled and getting myself into 3 meals a day, before that it was just surviving off crackers and biscuits and anything. Like I don't think I had a meal for weeks before I came on this, and it was just the structure. And I've noticed like the house is just so much more settled. I'm getting more done at home. than I ever did, even though I'm busier now than I ever was. And like having a newborn, he dictates my time regardless. I could say I'm going to do this at 10 o'clock. I'm not going to do it at 10 o'clock. But if I know I have to do it after he has had his feed or before we go for a walk, then you sort of, there's leeway, but you know that you can have these 10 things done in a day. Whereas before it was, oh, well, I was supposed to do it at 12. Well, that didn't happen, so it just didn't happen. Instead of, well, we'll just push it forward to 1 or 2, or you get it done. So it hasn't just been about fitness. I also like the personal diploma or the personal training diploma. I had signed up to do that ages ago and then just kept putting it off. And then the time lapsed on it. And then setting this up, I had more structure and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do this again. And like I'm finishing my level 2 this week, which I never thought I would. Like I never thought I would start it again. I just thought, right now I have a newborn. What's the point? I'll focus on this and I'll focus on that. But it's like I'm doing more and have more free time to do it. And the more I do, the more free time I seem to have. It doesn't make sense, but it's because it's the management, it's the time management and understanding where you waste a lot of time in the day. Like I would have wasted a lot of time on Instagram and a lot of time on Facebook just for nothing. And email, so I've now deleted the email app off my phone because you just, somebody sends you an email or shops send an email with their latest deal. And before you know it, you've spent 15 minutes scrolling for nothing. So I've set emails now for certain times and that makes a big difference. It's just small little things that aren't fitness related, aren't nutrition related, but they make a massive difference.
Absolutely class. And like just overall, like because you finished your 16 weeks and then also we have big goals now come next year because we're going to go for a photo shoot finally because I'm delighted. But like, just how does that make you feel? The fact that you finally came on board, you've done the 16 weeks after all the stuff you've done before, taking control even just over your time, but then also shooting a bit higher and going for now that shoot that I know you've had in the back of your head for I don't know how long.
Start like literally the beginning. It was like I followed everybody from the absolute beginning, even yourself, and it was just like I want to do that, and it wasn't even like I never said it out loud. I always like people would have knew that that's the body I want or that's the goals I want, but I never actually said I wanted to do it myself. So that was the other thing too, where like this weekend has just been, no, I want to do this because that's what I want to do, and before I would never have done that. I wouldn't never have signed up. I wouldn't have told you I wanted a photo shoot, let alone signed up for one. So now it's and everybody else knows as well. So there's no hiding it. Like a lot of the time I was trying to get fit secretly and it doesn't work because you're going out to events and you're ordering what everybody else is ordering because you don't want them to know that you're trying to lose a bit of weight. I mean, realistically, there's no reason why you can't order what they're ordering if you've pre-prepared for it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it feels pretty good to set that goal and know that it's achievable, because that was the other thing too. No matter how many times I had tried myself to do a plan and you think, okay, I'm going to do this and it's going to work for, like when I initially signed up for the 16 weeks, I thought I'm going to have the best body ever in 16 weeks. And it was unrealistic for me because I didn't have the foundation. So now we know, okay, the goal is actually a wee bit longer. But in saying that, like I've achieved so many more goals in the last 16 weeks that I didn't think I would ever have achieved. So it's just now setting the bar higher.
Exactly, but you're also managing a newborn, so spanner in the works. But you did absolutely amazing. And say like with someone who like is like you, maybe has those kind of goals in their head, or maybe is doing the likes of the bikini stuff or buying guides, buying challenges, and just constantly going through this bit of a 4-week kind of block. What would you say to someone who's say sitting on the fence thinking about it? Like, what would you say to them?
Well, to me, my issue, whenever I was sitting there, I was sitting going, okay, I've followed these guys for years and I'm still in the same position I was at the beginning when they were telling me to join the one-on-one. So what's going to change if I do another 28 days or another 20? There was no change. The change was my accountability, and that's worth its weight in gold, is getting the accountability. Because once you commit to it and you invest in it, that's it. The rest is easy because you keep me accountable. I don't have to keep saying to you, should we have a call on Saturday? It's, have you booked a call on Saturday? No. Well, why not? And it's not even like, it's like Sarah doesn't shout. Like, I know I said she doesn't shout. It's more just a chat, just to keep knowing that during the week there's somebody there if I need to turn around and say, look, I'm not at home this week, or I'm not doing this, And so, for example, I'll claim 16 weeks. I think there's 5 of them where I haven't been, with being sick or being on holiday or different things. And before that, it would have been, oh, sure, I'll start again next week. But with, like, you texting me in the morning, like, how you feeling? And it's like, not too great. Okay, well, what can you control today? I can't control the fact that I can't train, but I can control what I eat that day. Like, just because I'm sick doesn't mean I can sit in bed and eat chocolate all day. So it's a massive difference. And if you're sitting there and you've been following like me from day dot, like, you have to ask yourself, well, why are you still sitting there? Like, are you still following because you want to be that person? And when I was talking to Ash, it was, I want to be that person. And he just bluntly says, well, you're not going to be unless you do it. You're not going to be the girl in the photo shoot unless you do the photo shoot and commit to it. So yeah, it's worth doing. It genuinely is worth doing. If that's what you want, then this is what you have to do to get it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for doing it.